So, Tone, I want to say that I've had a lot of people come on my platform to air out their grievances with Joe, right? From Cuban to Charlie Rock LD, rest in peace, the legendary TA, and more. So I appreciate you providing a different perspective on things. But like you said, being the leader, you were able to show humility to come forward and say, I did wrong. I made a mistake and I apologize to you for that. The problem is with Joe, he doesn't show that humility to admit that he's made a mistake. And I think that's why it's hard for people to be like, you always act like you never wrong, you know? And I know that Cuban would be willing to sit down with him and hear him out, but because you never show that you are a man, because everybody makes mistakes. Nobody is exempt from that. We are human beings, right? But because he doesn't do that, then it's hard to have that understanding with him.
So I'll give you an image, right? Maybe that we could understand, right? Before I had my transformation, right? I was angry, right? I was angry at my leaders for hurting someone I loved and I didn't know it was them. And then when I found out that the people I love hurt the person I love, and made me go on a mission to find out who did it, because I was going to get my man, you know what I'm saying? And then you find out your man is the man you're looking for. Breaks your heart. So then when I did my wrong or right, what I come to the end of the conclusion, what I'm telling you right, that because once I took the leadership role, right? Let me set an example. I took the leadership role. I'm the one bragging on TV that the Kings changed, the Kings are good. Then a king goes, blood, right? You're the leader, you change and you brag about it. And all of a sudden, one of our members go do a trifle act, a rape, a murder, right? And then I come on the next day on the show. If I got the balls for someone to come up to me and say, Tone, you preach all this good shit and you say the Kings change and all this, but they just killed my brother, raped my sister. And I'm talking what really happened to me. And I went up and the girl is talking to me and she's telling me this, her story. And I want to defend myself and the Kings and everything in the world. And then when she was through, she looked at me and I knew what I said was going to really change this girl's life, because she just confessed to me that she hated me her whole life because of a stranger that I didn't know but was in my organization did to her. And because I came out on TV, I became the face of that trauma, of that hurt. And she said, and I hate you. And now I want to say sorry because I just met you and you spoke so kindly. And I just want you to know that. And I told her, you know what? You're right to hate me because that's my fault. What he did to you, I did to you. And I'm ashamed and I'm sorry and I'm so embarrassed for you and for my nation that I have to say this to you, but I'm sorry. I should have known better. I should have spoke clearer. I shouldn't have made you live with that there are people in my organization that are bad. I'm sorry I failed you. As a leader, as a spokesman, as a man that was glamorizing horror for some of you. And what happens is when people tell Pharaoh, the king, that he's turning evil and he got king's madness, and then the people behind the king that are living off his power and what he's become and becoming callous to the pain that he feels for hurting his people and the pain from hearing it out publicly, you harden your heart. And you start listening to those who love the hardened heart and the one that gloats of his hardness and how he's secure in his safety net, but is not willing to open it up and to experience the pain again, even though he changed, even though he wants to express this to Cuban, like you said, Cuban. He's hard in his heart towards the voices because he feels they never heard him when he said sorry. The point is, did you say sorry or did you claim it, right? And that's what I mean. Sometimes we thought we said sorry to our partner and he didn't hear it because you didn't say sorry. You said it in a manner that was covered in chocolate bullshit. So he might have felt he said sorry, but the way you said it wasn't the way it was expected, because sometimes our sorry are half-ass covered in pain and embarrassment that we don't say it openly. So I go to my fiancée, like, because she's growing me up. She goes, no, 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 you're missing the point. What are you sorry for? She makes me say the shit word by word, and I hate it because you gotta say the stupid shit you done, right? So
Right.
you want to say sorry with repeating your behavior, because then you got to live and look at the person in front of you. Now it ain't a blind hurt. You'll see her relive it, the pain of you saying, cause I said this without telling you, and I da da da. And then you got to hurt again. And that's what Joe don't want to do. He hurt losing Pun. He hurt losing the squad. He hurt himself. Just like Cuban did mistakes. They all hurt each other, but he's the leader. And me as the leader, when I came home, it was my job to say sorry first. It was my job to admit that I wasn't the greatest leader that ever came in the nation, because HBO put me on TV, that I was a good leader, but I had so much to learn, and I heard people next to me that were trying to advise me and help me be better. Today, I'm a better leader, but they wondering why I didn't change when they told me. So I should go back there and tell them why I wasn't ready and where was I and how I fucked up not hearing their voice. But today I'm sorry, and look at the man I am, and I thank them for being in my life, and how could we correct it? You're right. And I'm talking to Joe. Listen, I revisit pains for 20 years, and from kids that seen me once or twice and tell me, yo, I seen you watch tonight and you were speaking, and I argued with you, and I always laugh because I go, I don't even remember arguing with this nigga. You know what I mean? Or what he said. But I know somewhere that was his moment, right? And that
Right.
gave him the courage that in the nation he spoke to me about. Probably, yo, you punished my guy and he was right and you shouldn't have done it. But to me, it was a million voices I heard, right? To him, that was his moment, and he believes I seen him, I heard him, and I remembered him. Imagine when he told me that story, go, yo, Shorty, I don't even remember who you are. But I sit there and I go, man, I'm trying to remember, Shorty, remember me. And he goes through, and I go to feeling with him, and I go, damn, you must have been on it that day, huh? He goes, yeah, you know. Then he tells me what I did. But then you said, all right, and you talked to me, and we made friends. I go, I remember. You see my point? I remember. I remember you. Even though I don't, I know that's his moment to tell me, I spoke to you, I told you what was up, and you know what's up. I'm not a chump, right, Tom? No, you're not. I remember. What does that cost me? Instead of going, yo, Shorty, you would have never talked to me like that. My mother niggas would have punched you in your fucking mouth. Who you lying to?
Right.
You get my point? It happened because he's saying it, and I know, but it wasn't probably in the matter, but this is his moment. I'm a changed man. He could express what he couldn't express to me before. Get my point?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I steal that victory for him today? Because I want to protect the asshole I was in the past. So that's what I'm telling Joe. It's all right to face your wrongs, the pain, revisit them when you think you already said sorry. And I could never stop saying sorry enough to a person I hurt. Because if their trauma continues, it's a word that I could say to reassure them that I am living it with them, and I'm still remorseful to the day till they get to the strength where they can forgive me and just respect me. And I think that's what I'm saying to Joe, right? As me as a leader, it's going to hurt and it's going to be embarrassing because some of the shit they say might not be true. Some of it is going to be true. But what is the value of you going to sit down and giving that to the community as the leader, so maybe this will rest? And like you said, because Cuban them will follow, they're going to follow as long as they still see you as a leader because you're still alive and you're still there. I know people, bad leaders, we put them to rest. So with Joe, I know his life has been a long one in this game, and then he's been around for everybody to criticize like me. And it's easy to do that. But he's got to be the leader like I am. And I'm not saying I'm great, but everybody knows I try to revisit those I hurt so I could clear the path for tomorrow and for us to have a better, as a Latin kings and the nation, that those that say, Tone, you fucked up the movie and you fell on your face. You left us for dead and you were preaching that good shit. Then when you left, look, we divided and we fell apart. You know what I say? You're right. I fucked it up. I was the leader. And as good as I was, I shouldn't have done that shit, man. You're right, Shorty. I abandoned you niggas like I did my children. All right, but I see you trying. You back what you're doing. I'm working, go up, proud. I'm trying to win respect back. Oh, yeah, all right. I feel you. You still on that stupid shit? Yeah, I'm on that. All right, you get my point? That's my new me. Is that everyone I meet from my past or my present, I gotta be ready to revisit it, to feel the emotion that person has about their encounter with me, and then me to let them know that I want to lead them. I want to leave them better off than when I met them, and I leave a good word, even if I'm right or wrong. I accept it and I move forward because I learned being on TV, you affect a lot more people than you realize, and everybody's got a thought about you. And if you put yourself out there, you better be man enough to hear it,
Right.
to face what you put out there. Get my point? You gotta
Yeah.
be. And that's all I'm saying. I faced the tone that was an asshole. I faced the tone that was prideful. I faced the tone that hurt people. And I faced the tone that had good morals. And I united them all. And I went and faced my community again. And I asked for forgiveness because they accept me as the man I am now, knowing that I'm a better leader. I understand my errors. And I hope they believe in me again as a grow up, grow out business owner to help their kids. And that's what I've been doing, is re-engaging my community for my sin so they could see my change and hope in the new thing I'm going to do next. And I think Fat Joe could do that with us. And I think we'll love him and respect him when he does. And I do that now because I understand as a leader it takes time. But I'm hoping that they do it soon because I miss them and I miss to see them together. And I'd miss the conversation being about music and the great things they did to the bad things that have made it now the memory of what we remember Pun and the Terror Squad.